Hey there, pickle peeps. Now, are you and your family or whoever you live with on the same page when it comes to your business and your business operating hours? I don't know. And I'm not talking about the operating hours like I am working in my business from 9 a.m. until 5 p.m. if you're lucky enough to get that. But I'm talking about like the hard operating hours, like the I am in a meeting operating hours, the do not disturb hours. Are you guys on the same page with that? Because if not, I'm going to show you how we are intending to solve that problem this year. Cue the intro. Wait a second. I don't have an intro for this channel yet. All right, we'll be getting one of those. But anyway, regardless of that, I've been listening to too much Russell Brunson podcast. No such thing. But still, so I really want to talk today about being able to put like those signals and systems in place between you and your workspace and work time and your family, especially when it comes down to meetings. I don't know about you, my family has a pretty carte blanche, we can interrupt, we can't interrupt kind of time. But we've had a lot of issues lately where I have been in meetings or teaching or something, and sometimes the door is closed, but they don't really know if it's like, it's winter time, the heater's on. Is it okay to open the door and bother Mel or not? Unless you're my 3.5-year-old nephew, in which case it's always okay to open the door and bother E. Because that's such a better name than Auntie, right? So what are we going to do? I'm going to introduce you to ta-da! Yes, a dry erase board calendar. Woo! Genius, I know. Now, this calendar right here actually is a little bit genius because I looked at it. Back the story up. My family is obsessed with systems. My family is obsessed with calendars. To count, we have in the kitchen, like the meetings, appointments stuff, like dry erase calendar, like that one. We have our goals for the week calendar, which is my morning meeting process. I don't know if I mentioned that on YouTube or not. Maybe I'll do a video on morning meeting if you want, which is how my family all stays on top of each other's projects. Really, really cool. We have the general monthly calendar in the hallway. We have my yearly calendar that you guys saw yesterday on YouTube, and if not, I'll link that in the description below or up here in the card. So there's my yearly calendar in the hallway. I have planners, and so what in the heck do we need another one of these for? Well, so we have all those, and the one on the fridge decided to take a crap and like it won't erase anymore. It's like 10 years old, something like that, and the one on the fridge won't erase anymore, so we went and we grabbed more. And Mom goes digging around and finds out that we have like 3 of these things. So she's like, oh, do you want one? Do you need one in the studio? Does my sister need one with the kiddo? And we're going to put the new one on the fridge. Like, fantastic. Okay. And I'm looking at this. I'm like, do I need a calendar in the studio? Do I need something beyond my planner? And then I got the light bulb moment. It's like, Melissa, you have metals and pieces. You have Handmade How. You have BizFit Formula, which includes the Secret Success Syndicate. If you don't know what I'm talking about, join into the BizFit group real quick. You also do stuff for PIVAC, the Ambulance Corps. You occasionally do stuff for Cheerio with her CPR, Hudson Valley CPR Learning Center. And I'm forgetting one. I know I'm forgetting one. Oh, yeah. And you're part of the 2CCX program. That's like 5 things right there, at least. Maybe one of those we can drop, but it's still at least like 4 things. Metals and Pieces, Handmade, How, BizFit Formula, 2CCX. Okay, yeah, 4 real things on there. And these things, these businesses and endeavors all have different scheduled meetings and time frames and stuff, and it changes every week of the month as to what my time obligations are. So it's like, you know what? I was looking, she goes, Mom goes, do you want a dry erase board? And I'm like, you know what? Yes, to keep track of my meetings and what I have going on, I totally want this. And so I come into the studio, I'm all excited to put it up, and I rip the paper off. You can see there's no paper on it here. And I look at the wall and go, oh shit. Because unless I want it here, where all of you can see my schedule, and I don't honestly know that we're at that level of comfort yet, then I didn't know where to put it. And I'm looking, it's like, argh! It's like, well, maybe, and I came with the idea, like, I can put it right here. I can put it right here so you guys can see. He's like, yeah, let's turn sideways or whatever, but I'll turn around. I'll be able to see my meeting still. And I was like, yeah, okay, I'm going to do this. So later on that night, I'm talking to my sister after we do our, like, yearly planning session to where we know, like, when the vacations are planned. I say this like we go on a lot of vacations. That's funny. But we're going through, like, the year. It's like the events, the shows, the travel, all that stuff. And I'm telling her, it's like, oh, yeah, this is what I'm going to do with mine. I'm going to put my meetings on it. It's going to be great. And she goes, Mel, hold up. First off, she asked me, are you actually going to update it? I'm like, yeah, that's the point. I'm going to update it. Totally, because the point is for me to keep on top of my meetings, and I need it in a place that's in front of my face so I can follow through with being, punctual. And she goes, okay. She goes, I'm going to cut you off right there because as long as you're going to keep it updated, I have a better idea for you. This is why we should always talk to people outside of our own heads and sometimes even outside of our business masterminds. Like, it's good to talk to people who have a complete outside perspective. So my sister goes, you know what you should do? You should, if you're going to keep it updated, stick this on the door of the studio so we know if you are in an actual important meeting or if you just have the door closed, without bothering you, without interrupting you talking to other people, without interrupting, like, recording time. I'm not gonna lie, it is a lifetime goal or whatever to get an on-air sign I can put out in the hallway. And I can flip the button that says on the air or on air, recording in progress, something like that. That is like dream goals. Totally want one of those. Woo! That's not what this is about though. But it made me think, it's like, oh my God, that would be so awesome. Because, as long as my door is open, I can still see what my calendar is. Every time I go in and out of the studio, I will see what my meetings and agendas are for the day. And it keeps my family from disturbing anything that's really important going on, especially if I'm doing things right now, like recording, or if I'm teaching. Like, if I'm in meetings where I'm teaching, like, my grandparents are horrendous for this. Cheers if you have grandparents who are great at interrupting. And they just knock on the door. It's like, no, there's a schedule. Don't knock on the door if it's in one of the schedule hours, right? Yes, okay. So let's go ahead and fill this sucker out for this week. Yeah, you'll see what my schedule is for this week as much as I remember it. And then we're going to put it on the door. And then, of course, you guys can comment and let me know what you think of this process. And if you also are setting up systems to have better communication, even if it's nonverbal, between yourself and your family, between yourself and your business and your family business. So let's go. Let's do this. Okay, here we go. I have my filled in schedule on here. I got the stickies on the back. So let's go ahead and get this thing on the door. Trusty studio door. You can see right now it says, come in, we are awesome, right? In metals and pieces blue. And let's go, let's do it. New system of 2022. I'm going to try to center this off of the, right, one. Should be halfway through Wednesday, would be center of the door, in theory. And boom! That was more boom than I was expecting. Here we go. I'm gonna be honest, we'll see if it even stays on the door. And by that, I mean if it even sticks to the door. But, yep. And we are ready to go with a new system in place for 2022 to be a little bit more organized, a little bit more punctual, which is my word of the year. It's a repeat from last year. And so on and so forth. So here we go. Come on in. We are awesome, but only at times when I'm not doing other things. All right. So Pickle Peep. Here we go. Let me know if you are looking to set any new routines, boundaries, any of that sort for 2022. I totally want to know, like, what your goals are in that. If you want to share them down below, maybe we'll do a video about goals. I don't know. We'll see. But right now yesterday we talked about, like, creating our map for the year. And then today is a little bit of setting time boundaries. And I'll see you in the next one, Pickle Peep. Till then.